everybody, it's me, Kristen, again. I just wanted to make this video response to Monica Nietzsche. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she recently made a video about going to university and having issues with disclosing whether or not she has a mental illness to people and other issues related to mental illness in university. And so I thought I'd make this video because I kind of have a lot of experience with university situations, and I wanted to agree that it's difficult to know whether or not to disclose to professors, especially, and even to fellow students. One thing that has helped me has been to sign up with the Disability Resource Center, and basically they're there. I would think most universities have this by now, but they are there basically to help students with disabilities to get proper resources to go to school. And I wasn't signed up for the longest time. I just signed up this last year, and basically I get a testing accommodation, which means I get extra time for tests, and I get to take them in the testing center for free. And they have these great noise-canceling headphones that you can't hear anything when you're taking the test. So it's pretty awesome. And so that has helped a lot, having the testing resources. And also they notify your teachers that you have a disability accommodation, but they don't tell your teacher what's wrong with you or anything like that. But they do encourage you to talk to your teachers, just to say, you know, hey, I'm signed up with the Disability Resource Center, and you know, they don't say whether or not you should disclose what you have wrong with you. Of course, people with physical disabilities might have harder time hiding what they have wrong with them, but anyway, so for mental disabilities, I've had different experiences. I think it just kind of depends on the teacher. A lot of people have experience with mental illness, know people or have themselves experienced mental illness. But then, like, one time I told this professor, because it was before I was signed up at the DRC, and I was like, listen, I have this mental illness, I have schizophrenia, and, you know, sometimes I need different, you know, flexibilities from my teachers. You know, it kind of is like a warning. I was like, you know, I'm not necessarily going to need different, you know, more time for a assignment or something, but I just wanted to let you know ahead of time. And he was like, oh my God, you should never tell a professor that you have a mental illness. That is so wrong. And I'm just like, screw you. You know, because that was like so just a terrible way for somebody to react. So if you're a professor out there and someone comes up to you and says, yes, I have a mental illness, don't say, oh my God, don't tell anybody. Because that's just like totally shaming. So, oh my God. But anyway, so I didn't really appreciate that. And some other professors have been like, what? I don't know what to say. Just let me know. Most of them have been like, just let me know if you need any help, or, you know, contact me and stuff like that if you're having issues or whatever. So most of them have been pretty cool about it. Since I signed up with the DRC, I haven't really felt as compelled to tell teachers things, but I'm also doing okay. So, like, I'm not having as many issues with concentration and motivation to get things done, which has really impacted me in the past. So I don't know what to say, because I've been going to school for so long, and I've had varying degrees of symptoms while I've been in school. You know, there are times when I'm perfectly fine, and there are times when I'm like completely psychotic or just depressed, can't get out of bed and can't do anything. So, and it has totally impacted my schooling. Like Monica said, my transcript is like so terrible. It's got tons of withdrawals and failures and incompletes, and it looks like I'm a student who doesn't care about school. But obviously I do because I've been going to school for so long, but probably like most graduate programs wouldn't understand my transcript because they'd be like, what is this person? Why have they been in school for so long? And why do they have so many bad grades? So that's one of the reasons why I haven't really moved on to graduate school, because I don't really know if I could even get in, because even though I have quite a lot of A's, I also have quite a lot of other grades that aren't so good. A lot of times I would get incompletes, and then the university started this new policy where if you get an incomplete and you don't finish it, then you get an F, so that impacted me too. And of course I have a lot of withdrawals and stuff like that. I have maintained a decent GPA, not a great one by any means, but it's not like I'm in danger of getting kicked out of school or anything, so I'm not worried about that. But it's really different at different schools too, because like when I first went to college, I went to Barnard College at Columbia University, and this is way back when. So they didn't have really services for people with mental illness so much, and I did okay in school, but I had a difficult time, especially when I went back. I left after a year, went back, and I was on medications, and it made me so sleepy I couldn't get anything done. So if you're at like a really prestigious school or something, and they're like, you have to get done in 4 years and you have no more time, it's like everybody is paced to get done in 4 years, and there's no like 5-year plan or 10 or 20-year plan. So that kind of it didn't really work out for me, having that kind of plan for school to get done in 4 years. I didn't know what I wanted to do, for one thing, but also I just had so many mental health issues that I didn't feel that even if I did finish, I wouldn't have felt good about finishing, because it wouldn't have been my best effort. So now I'm at a state school, and it's close to my home, and it's a lot cheaper, and it's a good fit for me because I've been able to go to school part-time sometimes, or take terms off without having to officially leave the school and all that rigmarole, because my university is kind of like, it's kind of a commuter school in some ways, and it's not really like strict about, well, you must tell us what you're doing every single term, you know. Like the first college I went to was like you had to meet with an advisor every term, or maybe even twice or 3 times a term, and they really wanted to know if you were on track and doing things and blah blah blah. And I can speak to advisors if I want to at my school, but I really don't do that so often, because I kind of have my own ideas about what I want out of my education. And so that has kind of worked for me, being at a school that's kind of larger and doesn't have such close track of students. You know, if you want to go in and out of school in 4 years, then, you know, there are certain schools for that, but like at my university, they don't force you to, like, they're not on you to graduate fast or anything like that. So you can if you want, but it's just like, if you have more majors you want to do, or you're interested in other things, they're perfectly happy to have you still go there. So it's kind of a really good match for me. Whereas, but I didn't really think about that school, going to that school, when I was younger. So, you know, because when you're in high school and you're kind of like an overachiever, you're like, I want to go to the most prestigious school I can go to. And then you're like, you know, you just don't really think that going to a state school would be that great or whatever. But, you know, I've really liked going to the school I'm going to, and I've been going there for a really long time. I graduated from there, and I did get 1 degree, but I'm working on other ones. But I think it's like, I think it really depends on your school, how you're going to deal with mental illness at your school. You should definitely talk to somebody in the Disability Resource Center if you have something like that. And it sounds like Monica has a lot of people helping her, to get through and everything, but it still isn't, it's not easy because you're going, full-time in a place like I went to New York where I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything about the school. I had never lived in a big city, and it was really difficult adjustment. And when you're out of state and don't know that many people, and you're having mental illness, and usually it's people who are young, maybe the first time in their lives they've really dealt with mental illness. I know that when I first had it, when I first went to college, I didn't really believe that I had a mental illness. So that's kind of, a problem too. So there really are a lot of issues that students have to face if they have a mental illness. I would say just don't give up. I also love going to school a lot. And because it has made me, whereas I haven't always done well in jobs because I don't do well with people bossing me around. No, but I've had issues with my mental illness, and sometimes employers can't deal with it, which is understandable. But you really lose self-esteem by being fired from jobs. And school has been an area in which I've always done pretty well. Except for when I'm, not well. So, but but if you drop one class, or if you fail one class, or if you don't do so well in one class, you can always take a class the next term, and you can try again, which is another great thing about school. You can always try again. Like, the semesters or the quarters, whatever system you're on, don't last forever. If you fail in one time, you just can always get back up on the horse, which is not so true in the world of employment. If you're having trouble at a job, it just tends to go downhill until you get fired, in which case you get really bummed out, and then your livelihood depends on it. So school can be really a great self-esteem booster if you can, get yourself together, get on the right meds, get stabilized, go to school, and it can help you feel like you're a productive part of society, and that your whole worth is not just, that you're not just your mental illness. If you can do other things, like be productive in school and stuff like that. So this video is really long, I'm sorry. I have a lot to talk about on that subject because I've been in school a really long time, and it's been very difficult at times, and I just want to say, just keep up the work, keep at it. If you're in school and you're having a hard time, you can get through it, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, because you can take 50 years to finish a degree if you need to. Not that anyone but me would take that long, but I'm just saying, it's you just got to keep at it, and just know that you can keep trying, and you'll find out what works for you. And my cat's meowing at me because she wants me to finish. So I guess that's it. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye!